What's up guys, Jorge Contreras here, and in this video I am going to be talking about how to make millions in a recession. And I am speaking from experience since I became a millionaire during this last recession from 2008 up until the present. So if you stay with me till the end of this video, I am going to give you some valuable information that you may want to implement that could help you start making passive income, cash flow, learn how to invest properly, and learn how to ride the wave up during this next appreciation cycle. So without further ado, let's get started. So what do companies like WhatsApp, Venmo, Pinterest, and Uber all have in common? They were all started during the last recession. WhatsApp was started in 2009 and then sold for $19 billion to Facebook in 2014. Uber, who also started in 2009, did over $14 billion of revenue just 10 years later in 2019. Now, it is very unfortunate because when you look at the Great Recession of 2008, a lot of people lost their 401ks in the stock market. A lot of people lost their homes, which is very, very unfortunate. At the same time, one side cannot exist without the other. So there was just as much of opportunity for other companies and other people like you and myself to come out of that recession in a much better financial place. I, for example, started buying real estate in Los Angeles, California in 2012, and I was able to ride the wave up as my properties began to appreciate more and more over year compound. It increased my net worth, it increased my liquidity, it increased my equity, my cash flow. I got a lot of tax benefits by riding that wave up, and it allowed me to not just get out of the rat race and get my passive income to exceed my monthly living expenses, but I was able to exceed $1 million net worth by the age of 30. So with that being said, the biggest opportunities on how you're able to create wealth is to buy and sell high. And as you guys know, the stock market has been at some of its all-time lows in over a decade in these last few months at the beginning of 2020. And real estate does take a little bit longer, but I believe that just like in 2008, it took about 18 to 24 months for real estate prices to bottom. And I believe the exact same thing is going to happen since we are approaching almost 30 million in unemployment with all that lack of economic stimulation and lack of demand. Since people are struggling with finances right now, that's only going to bring prices down, and it's going to create an opportunity for people like yourself and like myself to buy real estate at maybe 50 to 80 cents on the dollar. In a second, I'm going to share with you a couple facts from some articles, and I do want to share with you that it's been proven that if you hold real estate or stocks long term and you play the long term game, you will win. According to CNBC, if you smash the like button, it will help the YouTube algorithm so that we can get this video in front of more people. But really guys, it really helps my YouTube channel
if you just, turn that little thumbs up, make it beautiful. Yeah. Cool, here we go.
Now, according to CNBC, in the year of 2017, the median house price was just above $199,000. Now, in 1940, that same property, the median house price was about $2,900. Now, I know some of you are going to say,
but Jorge, if you add inflation, that number would be a lot higher.
So yes, with inflation adjusted, that price of $2,938 would actually be $30,600. But even then, with inflation adjusted, it would still be over a 600% return. So again, I just want to make sure you guys all get this. Even with inflation adjusted, in 1940, the median price in the US for a property was just a little over $30,000. And in 2017, almost $200,000. That is a massive, massive return. So even if you look at real estate in the last 100 years, it is a straight line up. Regardless of all the ups and downs, it is still a straight line up. And the stock market has done incredible in the last 50 years as well. In 1970, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closing price was $753.12. In 2019, it was $26,379.55. You know, the S&P 500 has never had a negative result when you look at a 20-year holding period. Again, part of the reason why a lot of people lose when it comes to the investment game is they always focus on where's my investment going to be in the short term, in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. And the reality is it is very unpredictable as to what is going to happen. But if you focus on where your investment is going to be in the next 10, 15, 20 years, and you play the long-term game, you will win. Now, I believe that in the next coming months, there's going to be some great opportunities to buy real estate at a discount. So here are a couple tips that you can take to be able to prepare yourself. Now, this isn't going to apply to everyone, but hopefully it can apply to a good percentage of you so that you can increase your net worth and make millions in this next recession. And one of those is you want to be as liquid as possible. What do I mean by that? That means that, did you guys see that bug? Anyway, that means that if you have equity in your properties, in your real estate portfolio, this may be a good time to take out some of that equity and position yourself to be able to buy real estate at some really good prices. So let me give you an example, and this is the way this usually works. So let's pretend that you have a property and the market value of this property right now is $400,000. Well, we take that and multiply it by 80%, and what you would get is $320,000. And let's imagine that you owe $200,000 on that property. That means that you would have equity that you could take out of up to $120,000. So if you understand how real estate investing works, you can then take that $120,000 and reinvest it into more rental properties. So now you would take your initial $200,000 loan balance, you would add the $120,000 that you would take out as equity, which by the way is tax-free because you do not pay taxes on borrowed money. So because you would take the initial $200,000 you owe, now you would add the other $120,000 that you're going to borrow, and now you would have one new loan of $320,000. Now, yes, your payment is going to go up, maybe between $500 to $800 a month, depending on your interest rate and other things. However, if you know how to invest that money and you could write up this next cycle of appreciation, you could potentially increase your net worth and then take advantage of the 5 benefits of holding real estate, which again, cash flow, which simply means the profit you make on a monthly basis after you pay for all of your expenses and between the rent that you receive from your tenants. Appreciation, right, going up in value over time. Depreciation, all it really means is that you keep more money in your pocket tax-free. Mortgage pay down, meaning other people are paying down your mortgage, and then as the equity is going up because of appreciation, it just increases your net worth overall. And of course, taxes. There's a lot of tax benefits to holding real estate. Other things that you could do are, if you don't want to do a refinance, you could also do a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. It basically works like a credit card. So same scenario, 80% of that $400,000 is $320,000, and you could have up to $120,000 of a home equity line of credit. And again, the reason it works like a credit card is because you can use $50,000 and then you pay it back over time. So it's ultimately whatever works for you. And again, I'm not saying to go out there and get business loans, but as you guys know, right now there is an opportunity for business owners to get business loans at a low 1% interest. So again, disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I am simply sharing opportunities that may be available to you. So to share a little bit of my story, I bought my first property in 2012 for $240,000. It was a single family residence. In 2014, I built a new unit, a studio in the backyard. And then in 2017, I took the 2-story home and I divided it into 2 units using an ordinance that we have in California called the ADU ordinance, which stands for accessory dwelling unit. It's where you could take a 2-story home and split it into 2 units. You could take a single-story home, split it into 2 units. You can also convert your garage into a living headquarters, and you could do new construction, usually up to half of the square footage. And then in 2014 and 16, I did 2 refinance cash outs where I pulled out equity from my property and I reinvested and got a couple more units. And here's the beautiful thing. Because I rode that appreciation and force appreciation, right? Force appreciation is when you do things to the property to increase its value. It's like you're forcing the value up. So between forced appreciation and natural appreciation, I was able to buy that property that I bought for $240 in 2012. I sold it for $690,000 in February of 2020. And after paying for all of the costs from the new construction and renovation and commissions and everything, I was able to profit over $300,000 and get this, tax free. Now I know some of you are going to say,
but Jorge, you have to pay 30 to 40% in taxes depending on what your tax bracket is.
Now here's the thing, in California, according to the IRS, if you lived for 2 of the last 5 years in that property as your primary resident from the date of sale, then the first $250,000 are tax-free if you're single, and the first $500,000 are tax-free if you're married. So that's how I was able to make $300,000 tax-free. So I learned the power of being able to invest when prices were low and selling at the top and creating massive profit and massive gains. And now I'm in a position, as I'm sitting on a pile of cash, to do the exact same thing over again. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be focusing on long-term investment. What can I buy right now that I could hold for the next 10, 15, and 20 years? Because that is how you make millions in a recession. So how do I identify what kind of properties I buy? So in real estate, we look at properties in a criteria of 4, which is A, B, C, and D. The A areas are those multi-million-dollar properties. We usually don't buy there for obvious reasons, because it's not about based on comparable sales and what the actual value is, but often it's about how much are you willing to pay. If you go to the other side in the D area, it's usually a lot of high crime, low income, and sometimes gang activity and drug activity. So I don't invest in those areas. But for me, the sweet spot has always been in that middle B-C area. So my game plan is to buy properties in the BC area, and I am looking to buy properties that are between 2 to 4 unit. Why? Because you can get 2, 3, or 4 tenants rather than just 1. So I like the idea of that leverage. If you get a single family residence, you have 1 mortgage and 1 tenant. I would rather have 1 mortgage and 2 tenants, 3 tenants, or 4 tenants. And that is why I am a big fan of buying duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. Plus, the cost per unit usually goes down the more you increase the amount of units. So that's exactly what I am going to be doing to, again, make millions during this recession. And I'm going to be riding the equity up, riding the appreciation up. And if you want to make millions, then you have the opportunity to do the same. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys smash that like button, because it truly helps the YouTube algorithm so we can get this video in front of more people. Smash the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications so that you can be notified every time I upload a video, and follow me on Instagram as I post every single day. And last but not least, I'd like to see you in the comments below. What are you planning to do during this recession to make millions? Let me know in the comments. I'll make sure to reply to each and every one, and I'll see you guys next time.